What have you been up to, Joey? What's news for you? What inform the people of what's been on your mind as a mere mortal.
Yeah. Well, just trying to keep up. The first thing that comes to mind I've read some Mere Mortal certified books, or am reading Mere Mortal certified books.
Yep.
Read your favorite book, Karen.
Yeah, 1984, man.
I told you a little bit what I thought, but I'm actually really keen to hear what you think about that book a bit more. I was talking about it with one of my colleagues today. Oh man, yeah, he was just mentioning how the book was written in like 1940, but yet it really predicts, or it seems to be circling pretty close to what's happening right nowadays, and it's written 8 years ago.
Yep.
So yeah, I really enjoyed that book, and I'm keen to talk more about that one. And the other Mere Mortal certified book is The Dichotomy of Leadership by Jocko Willink and Lee Fadden. So I've been reading 4 or 5 pages of this each night with my mum, dad, and brother over the phone.
Oh shit! Really?
And yeah, we've been doing that every night.
Yeah.
And it's a
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Well, I guess it's interesting. It's thrilling. It's learnings. It's perspective as well.
Yep.
Everyone's got their own angles on things. Like, one of the points that came up is that everyone is in war, is fighting, thinking that they're right. That's something that came up with our family. Like, everyone goes to war fighting for their team. No, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Even though it means death to anyone.
Yep.
Yeah, so those are the big things that I've been up to. Other than that, just working and just been just work.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, no, it's cool you're doing that with your family as well, because you are separated by that distance, from Canberra to Brisbane, and just doing that sort of thing is really cool. I've noticed myself as well that I'm sort of trying to get every opportunity I can to hang around with my family and stay longer, because I see them 2 days a week at the moment, which is cool. But it's like, you know what? It's, if I can stay the extra night, I probably will try and do that. Especially because, there's my brother's. He's 2 weeks from fully finishing doing his last exam for uni, and then, when's the last chance that he's going to be in the house? Mum and dad are all together, and we're all relatively fit and healthy and whatnot. So just trying to take part of those moments as well. But onto 1984, man. So for those who don't know, I read that every year, like religiously. I think I've done that for the last at least 3 years, maybe getting up to 4 or 5. And it's just one of those books where I suppose it hit me really hard at the start, in the sense that I come across things now and then in life where it just captures my attention 100%, fully captures my attention. And that book has done it, multiple times in a row. So I keep going back to it. And it is weird because I know the whole story now. I know everything about it. I could probably even get close to repeating passages from it. But each time it's like I find something new, in the sense that, it'll make me think about an aspect I hadn't thought about before. So the obvious ones are, the way governments sort of work, and how they can take away powers, and the surveillance and whatnot. But, you get it into different aspects of like the psychology of humans, and what it's like when you have so little trust that you're willing to sell out even your own daughter, your own father, your own mother.
Love of your life as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess like how they do that by breaking down the bonds of humanity, and that they're like, you can't see anyone as individuals. You always have to think of them as, I guess, something completely different. Like they're a cog in the machine, in a sense. this was one thing as well. I read this book recently. I don't have it on the table here in front of me, called Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison.
Oh, yeah.
And it talks about how this guy, so it's basically a story of an African American in the late 1940s, early 1950s in America, where he's born in the South, he gets treated terribly, and then he moves to New York. And while superficially it seems very open and welcoming in the sense that, you know, he goes there and there's black people walking on the streets with white people, and everyone's sort of happy and mingling, and there's no overt racism or anything. After a while, he starts to appreciate that he's just seen as part of a group. Like he's in almost no way is he seen as an individual, and that like really messes with him psychologically, and he sort of goes through this whole period of I guess unlearning his own identity, where he comes out as nothing. Like he comes to think of himself as an invisible man, which has some benefits, but also I guess leaves him powerless to do anything. Broad shoulders in the house. 1G. 1G, when's he going to make his appearance? Yeah, man.
When's he going to make the long trip from his upload somewhere else?
From his own computer into it. I'm really hoping he comes in shirtless.
Saying that was that there was some similarities between 1984 and Invisible Man. How, you know, that they're a group of people. There's a real correlation there, isn't there?
Yeah. The thing with that is, though, I mean, you can find correlations between almost anything. Like if someone's really smart, they can like link Pinocchio to you know, a war book, or to one about cooking or something. That's one thing about Jordan Peterson. I feel like he could have connected any two subjects, and I would have absolutely ate it up and just been like, yes, you're right. So you got to be careful with people like that, because they're very interesting in the sense that they can convince you of things. What are you doing, man?
I was checking how the live thing was going.
It's good. Come and join us.
Very good.
The main
Joey
man.
Broad Shoulders, how are you, mate?
So you're not going to pop up on the stream?
Yeah, mate, for like 30 seconds.
Yeah, something like that.
I was having a look at that. Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah. Oh well. We'll
carry on.
We'll make it better for next time.
Will there be any more guests on the show?
Today, I don't know. Probably not. We haven't advertised it. This was a
trial.
That being said, there's 5 people watching now. So if any one of them wants to give us a thumbs up or whatever, that would be cool. Thumbs down. You can do that if you want. Even better.
I'll just make sure I give it a thumbs up. I'll do that right now.
Oh, legend.
If I get too bored with myself, I'll just assume a different personality, and I'll be Gavin Tracy. That'll be my second name.
Excellent.
I'll be another person, and then I'll hopefully make it more interesting.
So all right. So I'm gonna bring up something everyone's asking and wanting to know.
Cool.
Why is the stream called Busted Finger Gang? And I'm gonna tell you. The other day, I busted my finger. You're not gonna be able to see it on the live stream, but basically
can.
No, it's probably too far away. But anyway, it's a little bit purplish tinged. It looks very strange though, because basically I was trying to catch a ball, an AFL ball that the good old Juan Granados had thrown to me, and I went out for it. Was going for I don't know what you call it, one of those amazing catches, and yeah, it wasn't really a mark. It was more like an NFL catch where it's like you're trying to grab the ball from the side, and it just bent back my finger. And I was very lucky because literally 2 or 3 weeks earlier, our good friend, Manshield, he
done exactly the same thing.
He's been mentioned on this podcast a couple of times, usually in a bad light, but you know that's what happens. He did the exact same thing, but he actually dislocated his finger and had to go to the hospital eventually and get it put in a splint and whatnot. So I was thinking of starting the Busted Finger Gang, the BFGs, as we also like to be known.
For those who are unable to catch AFL balls correctly.
Yeah. I mean, one, you could probably join just because your fingers just look busted anyway. They look like
they're already fat. There's my fingers are fat enough that they'll never break. I can assure you of that.
Yep.
So what are we doing today? Are we just trialing this out, or I see more messages coming through?
Patricia's on.
Oh, Patricia's on. So what are we doing today? Is just trialing this out?
A little bit of whatever. We can do a little bit of our normal musings. Do you have anything
None.
of interest that you
None.
want to?
Nah, there's a couple of things, but do we want to do a full musing session, or
Yeah, can do.
is this going to record directly to the tube?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Interesting.
Good.
All right, well, give us some of your week that was. So
All right.
I'm trying to feverishly try to set up the gym bookings. So here's my little feedback. I think doing the
Joey, I'm gonna cut you off here. It was a pleasure to talk.
Yeah, no.
All right, man.
goodbye, sir.
See ya. All right.
Good. No, my only feedback is it's so good to be back to doing gym sessions.
Yeah.
But man, it can be annoying to book in your own sessions all the time and move things around.
Especially if you want to do it like easily and quickly. But
Well, yeah, and it's interesting with now it's actually working a lot faster. But if you work out at places like Fitstop or F45, you have to do that anyway. It's like those guys have to do that all the time, which would be really painful.
Yeah.
But yeah, like just tomorrow, a couple of things changing, so I've got to actually remember to go and I've got to unbook myself and see if I can book in at another time that's maybe available. And
So you can't do it online? Or?
you can do it online, yeah. But like I say, at the moment, if I look for tomorrow, everything's booked out. So you can't really go and unbook yourself from the time you wanted. So it's like I'm gonna have to juggle. Like, do I unbook and then try and book somewhere else in the hopes that I can get in there, or is there a case of moving away from it? So interesting. At least grateful that the gyms are back open, which has been good. So I've been enjoying that through this week. What about you?
Not much, man. Just want to apologize before, man. I suck at multitasking. I'm so bad at it. If you're talking to me, I have to stop everything I'm doing here. So apologies.
Well, normally multitasking is a lie, people. A lie.
Yeah.
You can't normally... so it's actually been proven you can't actually multitask. What you do is you just change context really quickly.
20. That makes sense.
Yeah. So it's been... Look it up. I don't have anything in front of me to prove this for you.
Yeah.
But it is scientifically proven that multitasking actually doesn't exist. You can context switch, which is what's called, and essentially it's just your neuron pathways for flipping between things. But you can't. What you call multitasking, when you can focus on two things once, that actually doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So, and in the end, in terms of effectiveness, not efficiency, but effectiveness, you're actually doing worse off doing two things at once. So,
that's what I sort of would have thought. You may be doing like two things at 20% of the time, but it's not even that. It's like you're doing one thing at
probably 70% and the other one at 0%.
Yeah.
So context switching. There's something new for people to learn up on.
Yeah, very good.
What are other things through this week? No reading. I literally had no reading. I've been working most days to fairly late, at least 12-hour days every single day, which would be nice. It's just been busy, man. Just been busy.
Big days.
Busy. So,
well, I had the opposite actually. I had the effect of having a lot of time freed up.
I did hear you weren't training the last couple of days.
Yeah,
thanks to the busted finger.
So two days in a row. I mean, it was partly this. It was partly on. So I trained with it on Monday, Tuesday, and I was able to do things, but it was definitely like. So when I was doing muscle ups, I felt myself holding back a little bit because I didn't want to like really yank on the bar.
Okay, you helped me that had preemptive feeling of like, even though it might not be actually as hurtful, it's like, oh, I don't really want to do this. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And it just feels like, it wouldn't take like, so now when I'm walking around, I'm much more careful that I'm not swinging my arm around. When I put my hand in my pocket, I'm like, gently rubbing it in, giving my leg the old, ooh, this is nice. Rather than just
say that,
doing it in. So, I'm being a lot more careful in that sense because it is, just in a weakened state or whatever. But yeah, it was also like, I don't know, it just felt like the time I'd done probably close to 70 or 80 days straight of training. So it was like, you know what, I'll give myself a little bit of a break. And it's been good, man. I suppose the thing is, for me, it feels like it should only take up 2 hours, like 2 hours of training and then 45 minutes of of stretching.
Yep.
But it's all the transitions in between those, and I guess like the time that I'm not capturing there, where it sort of feels like each day I've had 4 hours.
Wow. Okay.
Free up. So I got a lot of stuff done that has been on my to-do list, setting up this live stream, just fixing like little bits and pieces around the house. Got stuff done at my other place, started joining a lot of Facebook groups.
Nice.
So I'm now officially a Chileno, an Argentino, Colombiano y Peruano in Brisbane.
All right. Okay.
So I joined all those groups.
Very interesting.
I don't know.
How did they allow you to join, given the fact that you're not
sneaky,
any
man.
of them?
I was just sneaky, man. I changed my name to Miguel. I sort of...
Okay, interesting.
You know, my Facebook picture, I just made myself a little bit darker, put a couple of extra tints on there. No, they don't really care that you're not. They just want people to join the group. But actually, I was a bit disappointed because those groups had a lot of... it was mostly advertisements in it, in that people were like
trying to sell their own things, or just general
selling their own things, or looking for apartment for rent. We've got an apartment for rent. We're like cooking Chilean food, which is okay, but it's like, I don't know, it didn't have that group feeling I was looking for.
Community feeling, I think, is what you're talking about.
And I only just joined, so I'm being a little bit hasty with my judgment so far. But I did manage to connect with a girl who's from Colombia, and I'm just going to like meet with her for a language exchange. So we'll speak in English. We'll speak English and Spanish.
Yeah. Cool. So that's nice.
Yeah, it's good. It was good. That's sort of what I was looking for.
Nice. I'm seeing a couple more comments coming through. Anything? Is it just Patricia, or is it someone else?
Gus is multitasking. He's eating, listening, and browsing the web.
He's doing all of them. He's doing all of them at 20% each time. That is confirmed. Confirmed, Gus. Confirmed 20% at each time. No, you know what he's doing? He's watching the footy right now. He's watching the Broncos v.
Yeah.
Who are they playing? Manly.
Yeah.
And Manly are going to beat them footy now. Ooh. Can confirm. Dad, confirm.
Good.
What else from me? Man, so I've been doing a little bit of...
there's one thing I want to touch on. So you will send me just random stuff throughout the day. A lot of it with no context, so I have no idea what it is about. But you were mentioning that, so did you hit up that guy, or that guy hit up you initially?
Which one?
Exactly.
I'll give the story.
The Gary Vee one.
The two things. So one, I was watching a Daily V 232 from Gary Vee's 3 years ago.
Yeah.
From 2017. And just out of nowhere, I saw that he was talking to a guy on there. His name now escapes me.
And look it up.
Quickly go and have a look.
Anyway, keep going.
But he essentially was the CEO of Vayner Speakers. And I noted, it is Zach Nadler.
Shout out to Zach.
I interestingly just saw that on the video. I was like, that's interesting to see that guy. I didn't really know who the Vayner Speakers, because it's a separate company entity than Vayner Media, right? All sitting underneath Vayner X.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, seems cool. I might look him up. Very small following on the Instagram. He has his LinkedIn and everything. So I just reached out, just kind of being like, I saw that he was still the CEO. So I was like, it's kind of cool. It's good to see the progress. Sort of learned that he, 12 years, he's been known Gary Vee for about 12, 13 years. And he responded really, really quickly to the message back where I just sent it would be cool to talk to you and interview you for Mere Mortals.
Yeah.
And he responded back with, sounds interesting. Let me know more information on his email. So send that through. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Might have him on, might not.
Yeah.
But it was interesting that those people connected quite quickly. The second one, though, was through LinkedIn. So I actually separately had a question. A good friend of mine asked me how many individuals are seeing my posts on LinkedIn. And it can range from 100 through to 1,000 right, on a post that I do, which is interesting on LinkedIn, because if you talk about our Instagram and everything else, it's a lot lower in comparison.
1/10 of that.
Yeah. This is my personal LinkedIn. But I got a couple. Nowadays, I probably get around 1 or 2 people trying to connect with me a day, I reckon, on LinkedIn. And this individual sort of reached out directly and wanting to connect not just themselves, but their chief operating officer in Asia with, I guess, a team, and wanted to do a podcast. So Monday night at 8 p.m, I have a chat with the chief operating No, it's it's a conversation with the chief operating officer.
Yeah, I know.
To understand what it is that we want to talk about, and if it's mutually something that we want to talk about,
Yep.
and then probably set up a date there. So
Yeah, that's cool.
just
That's cool.
interesting how some things
Yeah.
can just come out of osmosis, right? Of just working and doing things, and
Yep.
then just things will pop out as well.
Well, that's what I wanted to say as well. So the last couple of weeks, we started doing some interviews, and then we sort of dropped off. Like we did 7 in a week and a half or
Yeah.
something, and then it's
Quick
just
succession.
been we sort of backed off a bit.
Yep.
And I guess I just wanted to like put that in context of you're doing something and it feels like you're just doing the same old thing, nothing's really happening. But if you're doing the right same old things, those opportunities do pop up.
Yeah.
And it can be really quick and unexpected as well. So I just want to chat about what that feeling is, where like how do you know you're doing the correct small things every single day which lead to those big opportunities? Because there is like reinforcement in the sense you can do things for a while and see gradual improvements. But it's like muscle ups and handstands.
Yep.
For 6-7 months, I was just doing handstands like all the time, seeing like a personal best every now and then, but it was more just really like a grind. Like I just wasn't seeing anything. And then recently, like my best handstand shot up by 9 seconds.
Yeah,
which is like a 10
Yeah,
more than
and-
10%
but
increase.
it's interesting, yeah. And I think the feeling is like if you were looking at it externally, kind of almost how I was, right, to your handstands, it almost is like, oh, that came out of nowhere. Like, wow, all of a sudden he's doing extra handstands, and it's like, oh, what do you do? What's a special sauce and whatever? And then there's the background of actually, you grinded like 7 months to get just to that, right?
Yeah,
So people don't see that back. And I think for you go, man, I just did the same thing over and over and over, and all of a sudden then it went better. I think it's the same thing here where, we did a whole host of interviews. Obviously, we're not doing as many right now in this instant, but, it's not that we haven't been pursuing more. Like I've still been asking and talking to other people. And I think this is just something coming out of, at this stage, we're probably posting, I think having a look at only the stats on Instagram, we're probably posting about 34 to 40 pieces of content weekly.
Yeah.
Now, if you multiply that on all the platforms,
which is basically you doing.
Yeah. So if you multiply it to all the platforms, the same thing's happening on Facebook, the same thing's happening on Twitter, same thing's happening on TikTok, and then my own on LinkedIn, we're probably generating upwards of probably 200 content pieces a week.
Yeah.
Right. So obviously it's not Gary V's 64 per day.
Yeah.
But it's a hell of a lot.
That's not that far off.
It's a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
And when you have 200 different pieces, right, it only takes one to capture someone's view to go, oh, okay, I can go and do this. So I think yes, the grind on it sometimes at the micro doesn't seem like it's much of a change. So you look at it and be like, oh man, I'm going to have to be doing this for 3 months or 5 months. And it's like, am I really going to? The answer is yes. Like there's going to come a point when one of these things, if it's quality and valuable, someone is going to hit someone in the right way and it's going to help out. Or with muscle ups or fitness,
Yeah.
If you're doing the right things consistently with quality, you're bound to improve. That's a thing.
Yeah.
But there's a period in the middle there that takes time. And that's when I think there's that feeling. I don't know what you would call that particular feeling when you actually succeed or when everything starts working well. But another point of it is like, that's why you have to cut yourself off from looking towards that end goal and being like, well, 10 million followers or 100 muscle ups or whatever. Because if you get really focused on that, the period before it is a grind, it is work, and you're just going to hate it the whole time because you're not there already. And so you just focus on this one end goal where, just enjoying the process of creating or doing or training. It's just like if you grow to love that bit, enjoy it, then you won't even care when you get to the end point realistically, because the journey is what you really, really enjoy. I guess it kind of comes down to, kind of reminds me of the Alchemist story, right? It's really the journey that's important to get you to realize that, well, in that particular book, it's a little bit different, but it's the journey that's actually the important bit that gets you learning. Yeah.
So, it's not the actual treasure that really makes him happy. It's that he actually managed to go out and pursue it and do all these crazy different things.
Yeah. And the other thing as well, if you look at it this way is, sure, 10 million followers or interviewing really high level people and everything else at the beginning, man, of course it sounds incredibly far away and incredibly difficult, but just chunking it down to little step-by-step improvements, and that grind all of a sudden looks a little bit smaller and smaller.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I think when we talked about your handstand, I think we probably, well, the steps of it probably were too wide. Like 7 months, yeah, that's a big time to grind. I think even you said it. If you had to tune it down to maybe like, 5-second increment, another 5-second increment, and another 5-second increment.
Yeah.
Sure, perhaps you'd be at the same space now in terms of your handstands, but you might have felt a little bit like, okay, progress is coming.
Yeah. I suppose the other thing is that there can be different ways of measuring as well. So I think if instead of looking at just one max hold, if potentially I had looked at, okay, how much am I doing per week as far as like amount of time spent upside down. And if I measured that per week or even on a day, like day by day, in direct comparison, I think I would have seen I was gradually improving in the sense that like I was spending a lot more time upside down per each week, even though it's not necessarily translating to that just one-off max hold, which, that's where you need to have like everything going well on the day to really be able to push yourself to that next limit. You didn't do max squats today?
Oh, well, today was an interesting day. It was so in Australia here, gyms are open. It's a 45-minute limit to get in there. So from the very beginning to the 45th minute.
So Juan is literally, the doors open. He sprints. His warm-up is the sprint to the squat rack.
I sprinted to the squat rack and I just squatted. I just used one barbell and squatted the whole time with a couple of lunges in between. So it was 4 sets of speed squats, 4 sets of power squats, 4 sets of strength squats, 4 sets of volume squats, 4 sets of lunges squats, and then 4 sets of like what I call more body position squats.
Okay.
So in the end, how much was that? 20.
That sounded like a lot.
24. Well, 20.
A lot of
24 squats. Well, 24 movements, right? 24 movements in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So they would have. It was like 2 minutes rest. Not even that. It would be like a minute rest, but the whole session.
Yeah.
So I was wrecked.
Yeah, good.
My legs were wrecked.
Good.
But it's good. No max squats is happening though.
No.
I think the structure that I've put myself in with speed, power, strength, volume, it's helping out that a lot, because by the time I'm getting to the strength portion of it, and that's what I'm going, it's heavy and it's lower reps, the legs are pretty fatigued that I can't really be going with like 100% loads. It's 70%, 60%. And so it feels good because you're still getting quite a heavy load going, but I can't really push it that much. So it's a good balance.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it.
Okay, good, good. Yeah. That's a lot of squats, man.
That's a lot. It was good. I enjoyed it. I'm sure my legs are going to be sore tomorrow.
Yeah. Man, I don't enjoy legs like that, where it's just one thing all the time. I think I prefer...
a variation.
Yeah. I get bored. I think that's just doing legs in general, especially calisthenic legs, which is just reps and reps and reps.
Yeah.
And you just... while I was traveling, it was my most disliked thing. Yeah, which was doing legs, which would be finding a place to do Bulgarian split squats and then just doing.
I hate doing legs without gyms though. Definitely, I hate doing legs just out and about. Like, just air squats and that doesn't interest me.
Yeah.
Or because or running or get out of my face.
Yeah. See, running's a little bit different. I don't know if it's the same though. Like if the pain after really like you just do sprints all the time, it's the same as the pain that's.
Yeah, it'll be different, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very good. Got anything else?
Cool. No, I think we're good for now. That's 29 minutes. So
excellent.
All
right.
Standard session that we do.
It's good for trying out the live stream. I'm sure next time we'll actually advertise it at some point. So individuals come and join.
I need to try and get this latency so that it's the same thing.
Almost live. An actual live.
Yeah, well, there's some settings you can mess around with the OBS and whatnot, but
cool.
I'll leave that for another time. I might even do an unlisted one.
Ooh, okay.
Trying one and then check it out. But I think this is okay.
Excellent
for the moment.
Very good. All right, one out.
Current out.